Hey everyone, it's Hannah Catherine Smith with Edie's Craft Room back with another video. Wow, it has been quite a summer. There have been so many wonderful things happening this summer, including vacations and warm weather and wonderful people. But maybe most importantly to some of us, I have gotten so much quilting done, which is so exciting because I feel like usually that's my winter thing, but no, I am on a roll this summer. So I wanted to share a few of my most recent finishes with you and give you the details behind all of these projects. So first up, I have an FFO here. I actually really haven't chronicled the journey of this quilt too much here on YouTube, but I did post about it on my Instagram, and that's just at Edie's Craft Room if you want to follow me there. But this is a beautiful, fun summer quilt that I had just in time to enjoy the rest of the season with. So this is BasicGrey's Star Blooms. This quilt finishes at 64 inches by 64 inches, so it's a nice throw size. And I used the fabric line Zinnia by Rosenthal for Moda Fabrics. And I am just so in love with this bright, beautiful quilt. Now, one of my favorite parts about this quilt is actually the tag that I added. So I got this tag from a shop on Etsy. I believe the name was EverEmblem. I'll be sure to link them down below. And they actually custom made this tag for me. It just says handmade by Hannah Catherine Smith 2023. I wanted to make sure I had the year on there as well so I could remember the year that I made this quilt. And yeah, I just love the detail that it adds to these quilts. I've never used tags before, so it was really exciting to just kind of sign my quilt like an artist signs a painting and mark it as mine and remember exactly when I made the quilt. Now, this pattern was very easy to follow. It was a very easy pattern and I feel like it went pretty quickly. The blocks were just a lot of fun and they required just a little bit of thinking, but not too much. You know, it was like that perfect balance. I'm someone who doesn't typically love like a mindless quilt. There are some exceptions. I'll show you next what I mean by that. But yeah, I just am so happy with how this turned out. And then as for the quilting, this was done by Sundance Quilting, so I shipped my quilt off and I absolutely love the job that they did. I did have them also piece my backing because I hate doing that, so the $15 charge for them to do it was, I was very grateful that they offered that service. But yeah, oh, I forgot to show you, here's the back. This is also Zinnia by Rosenthal. I love it, it's so beautiful. And the quilting just blends in, which is what I wanted for this quilt, just because there's so much going on with the fabric and then also with the star blooms, the prints. So yeah, I am just so thrilled with how this all turned out. If you couldn't see from my other videos that I'm overlaying here, my binding, I just did this rainbow stripe. This is also from Zinnia by Rosenthal. And so I absolutely love it. Now, I did machine bind this quilt. I have hand bound quilts before. It's not my favorite thing in the entire world to do. So I've been testing out a bunch of different binding, I guess, methods, machine binding methods. And so I used a method from Jordan Fabrics. So I believe, you know, there's other of you out there that do that, but basically where you just clip your binding and then you sew it on the side, you sew it on the front instead of on the back, which worked pretty well for me. I will say I have a little bit of unevenness here, and then there were some spots where I like missed, but for the most part it worked out well, and let's be honest, it was a lot faster than hand binding it. So overall, I am thrilled with this quilt and encourage you to make one as well. Keeping in line with the summer theme, I have Beach Day. This is just a quilt top, so I've not sent it off to be quilted quite yet, but it was my first on-point quilt. And I actually did a full video of me making this quilt, which I will be sure to link above. But for those of you who haven't had a chance to see it yet, I will overlay the image of what it actually looks like totally, because you can't see all of it here. But I absolutely loved this quilt. This was so much fun, and I feel like it was just a very beginner friendly quilt, at least the blocks were. the on-point nature of it did make it a little bit more challenging for me as someone who had never made an on-point quilt before, but overall I was thrilled with how it came out. I used Dwell by Camille Roskelley, which, as many of you know, is my favorite fabric designer. So I wanted to make sure that I selected a pattern that gave me large pieces of fabric incorporated into the piecing, if that makes sense. I just wanted to showcase the fabrics, and so I thought this quilt did a really good job of that, because you used a charm pack, and so you get like a whole square here, and then you get those squares framed with a different complementary fabric or contrasting fabric. And so I just thought this was the perfect pattern to use for a fabric that I loved so much. This is a pattern from Sherri McConnell, and so that was awesome because I had never used a pattern from her before, but I really enjoyed it. Now, all of the fabric that I used here is from Dwell, so I have a complementary borders here, and I actually was able to use some of the pieces that I had left over from a jelly roll to make a secondary border here, and it's a scrappy border, which was also a first for me. So overall, I'm really thrilled with how this turned out. It will be going to a quilter soon. Obviously, have to budget our quilting desires because it can get expensive really fast, but I'm really proud to have this one finished. Now I will be sending in a backing and binding to go with this that matches the Dwell fabric. So my backing is this beautiful floral print here. It's like a combination of navies and blues, different shades of blues, which are my favorite. So I think that that's gonna look really nice together. Yeah, I love that. And then for my binding, I am using this green. So just like this green, not crosshatch, but diamond print. And I think, again, this will just be so beautiful. Imagine that over that. So perfect. So yeah, cannot wait to send this one off. And last but not least, in keeping with the summer theme, I have Lighthouse by Thimble Blossoms, which is by Camille Roskelley. Surprise, surprise. But I am so thrilled to finally have this quilt finished. It finishes at 80 by 80 inches, so another square quilt. And I actually just used navy and white Bella solids for this. Camille used, I believe, what was it? It's Nantucket Summer, which is one of my favorite lines ever. And it looks absolutely beautiful on the pattern, but all of these fabrics were out of stock. And so I felt like I could just kind of recreate the same look just using Bella solids. And I feel like I did a pretty decent job of that. So I'm kind of proud of myself. But this one took me a long time to finish, and I'm not sure why, because it wasn't necessarily hard. I think it was just the repetitive nature of the blocks or something, but maybe it was the solid fabrics. I've heard a lot of people have a hard time just using solids because they get bored with it. I don't think I was ever bored. I guess it just took a little bit more motivation to finish it. But now that I've finished it, I think it's absolutely beautiful. And side note, never disliked the quilt ever. It just, you have those projects that for whatever reason don't move as fast as others, and you're trying to figure out why they aren't moving as fast, but it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's your hobby, and it's no rush for someone like me who's just a hobby quilter. So yeah, I am thrilled with how this one came out. I do have backing and binding fabrics ready to go. These actually are from Nantucket Summer. I think these were some of the last fabrics that Fat Quarter Shop had before they all sold out, because as many of you know, that collection just went so quickly. So this will be my backing, and then this will be my binding. I love striped binding. So going for a little bit less of a feminine feel with this quilt. I did a lot of feminine quilts, and so then I think that's what helps motivate me, was I was like, okay, this is a little bit more gender neutral or masculine, and it just has that beautiful nautical theme. So I am so happy with this one. Let me know in the comments which one you think I should send off to the quilter first. Should I send off Lighthouse, or should I send off Beach Day? Let me know. I'd be thrilled to know what you think. But anyway, those are my finishes from the past couple of months. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at them. Feel free to drop any comments that you have about any of these quilts below. I'd be thrilled to find the answer for you or give you an answer, or for the community to chip in if I don't know. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like this video, and comment. It would mean so much to me. And I will see you next time here in Edie's Craft Room. Bye.